Everyone, sorry this is a bit late this week. It's been quite a busy week, and I don't know, maybe I'm not quite so fired up about Formula One right now. I suppose most people are. Most people are enjoying this kind of season where multiple winners, it's very unpredictable, and there's no true form to the season. But I suppose I've sort of, I was kind of comfortable with the system we had, and I sort of feel like the best drivers aren't winning anymore in the same way. So it's throwing it all up in the air a little bit. Of course, all of this makes my predictions mostly wrong. I mean, it's very difficult. Struggled this year, but I think a lot of people have. In fact, I'm also participating in basically like a fantasy sort of predictions website contest throughout the year. And each set of predictions I've given to you guys, I've done, I think, pretty much exactly the same predictions online, and I'm doing very badly on there as well. So it's still time to pick it back up. I think a lot of people are struggling. It's been a very hard season so far to predict. Monaco, I think actually Monaco should be a bit of a leveler again, although I think I said that about Barcelona. Um, Not really much news in the last week or two. Really not much. I think the Williams team are sort of back on their feet. Senna's Williams caught up amongst the big Williams pit garage fire of a couple of weeks ago. I don't think that will particularly affect their race results going into Monaco. I don't think Senna particularly will feature that much, although I think Maldonado will do pretty well. But beyond that, not really much to report. So without further ado, I'll go into my predictions. My predictions last time out were just awful, so there's no need to go over them too much. But this week I've gone for Hamilton yet again. My reasoning, it's got to be sometime soon, and I don't want this to be the week where Hamilton does everything and I've decided not to go for him. It's got to be his time this time around. Hamilton, notoriously good qualifier, good success around Monaco in the past. Last year I think was a bit of a one-off, and in fact all of last season Hamilton wasn't quite at his top form. So definitely reasons to suspect Hamilton's going to do it this time. It's going to be all about qualifying. It's very difficult to overtake around Monaco notoriously. Really fastest lap, deciding that's very, very difficult this year, because it's only a matter of being on the right tyres towards the end of the race, with an opportunity with an open track to use it. So with all of that said, I think Hamilton's time's come to get the sixth different winner of the season. Unfortunately, I'd rather just have two or three top winners winning everything. Genuinely would. So Hamilton win, pole, fastest lap, clean sweep, hat trick. Vettel pretty good around Monaco. A win here last year. So slightly different circumstances this year. I don't think he'll get pole, and then as a result, I think he'll be slightly on the back foot. They won't be able to employ the same kind of strategy, I think, as well. Maybe the tyres won't quite last quite so long. He really did stretch it, possibly 40 something laps last time out, something ridiculously long. Don't think that's going to happen, but a strong result from Vettel to solidify his top of the points standing at the moment. Maldonado, again, I think he's coming off of his maiden victory last time out, which is still, I genuinely can't believe it happened actually, but it was quite a convincing win in fact. So maybe the Williams has made a good step forward. I think a lot of it is down to the tyres, but surely the car has fundamentally improved to manage that pace over a longer period of time. It certainly had the pace of Alonso and his Ferrari. So they are genuine contenders this time out, but I don't think they'll win. Maldonado, a bit of a Monaco expert, won a lot in the junior series, and last time out, unlucky not to finish high up in the points due to Hamilton taking him out of the race. And then I've sort of gone with a bit of recent form. 4th, 5th and 6th, Rosberg, Button, Alonso. I don't quite know where it'll all shuffle out, but it's hard to put these guys anywhere else but sort of solid points. I don't see much changing. I think this whole season is going to be about consistency. and these are the guys to get the good points in. Don't think the Ferraris improved too much, but Alonso should get a good qualifying, which should help. And Jensen's been complaining a lot in practice so far about balance of the car, and in fact not being able to have much visibility going into corners, which is a bit of a worry around Monaco. Webber 7th, a little way behind Vettel. Such has been the pattern in the last couple of races, but who knows? I think if Webber, I imagine sort of Webber getting a bad start or a bit of a clumsy pit stop, and Webber struggling to get too far into the points. Raikkonen 8th, might surprise some of you. He's been the talk of most of the television coverage, at least in the West, so far around this weekend, wearing James Hunt's helmet, which is interesting. I think Raikkonen and the Lotus team altogether are looking pretty good so far. I just don't know. I've got him down for 8th. It's very difficult to say. I think they should be quite good, but I rather imagine some kind of reliability problem or something in the race and they get caught up in the traffic. I don't know. I think they'll qualify pretty well. I expect both Lotuses to be up there in qualifying, but somehow I don't see them featuring so strongly in the race. Schumacher down for 9th place. Not brilliant points for Mercedes. He's had the worst luck this year, I think. Really, really bad. 2 points, not really great, but it's a start after a couple of, I think, almost non-finishes. So Michael, pretty good around Monaco, won there several times, I think. Really difficult not to have him in the points at all. Of course, he's going into this race with a 5-place grid penalty straight away, so I think he'll start about 9th and finish about 9th too. I think it's a solid bet. Finally, Perez for 10th and 1 point. The Saubers, after such a strong start to this season, I can't see them completely going away. However, I haven't seen too much talk about them so far around Monaco either. I think they might be very good at time management, and that could come into play and be a big factor sometime in the race. Don't think Kobayashi will be too far behind. If it's a race of attrition, I expect them to get even more points, but I'm going on a regular race with most people finishing. So there we go, that rounds out most of the key positions. Qualifying's very, very important. It's all about finding a good place on the track without having your lap spoiled. So far in practice, there's not really too much of a clue. In fact, apparently it started to rain in free practice too, so who knows. I don't think there's too much to be garnered information-wise from the GP2 and other feeder Formula series, so it's going to be a tough one. I don't know why I'm not quite so pumped up for Monaco. It's supposed to be the jewel in the crown of the Formula 1 season. I genuinely think it'll be a good race. I've never watched a Monaco race and been bored. There's always a chance of a crash at some point, at some time, even with someone massively in the lead. Possibly a safety car to shake things up, that might be interesting. If it's raining in practice, then possibly there's a chance of some rain in the race, which would really shake things up again. Not that this season needed too much more of that anyway. Championship points very interesting already, and I think it's important for a lot of teams and drivers to get some good solid points, so they don't need to go wrecking it in the wall this time around. So yeah, it should be genuinely good. I've got my own favourites in the mix, and we'll see what happens. But in the meanwhile, I think the next race is going to be in a couple of weeks' time. But I think we are well and truly into the European season stretch. But thanks for joining me on this prediction video, and hopefully I'll be back soon. In the meanwhile, enjoy the race, and I'll see you all next time. Foreign affairs.